Sometimes animation is super complicated. In this video, we will take a seemingly complex animation and simplify it with a faster, easier approach. By the end, you will see how taking a lazier but smarter approach can sometimes lead to even better animations. If we have a look at the actual video in here, we can see that the video is mainly composed out of this single box rotation right over here. Generally, box rotations are very hard to do, but in this video we're going to explore a simple way on how we can do that. In the end, I would also like to show you how we can do this nice character animation done out of these abstract shapes in here, and this will actually be done using a tool that I have made, but more on that later at the end of this video. So I am in a new composition here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a ground. So to do the ground, I'm simply picking the pen tool, click on the edge in here, hold shift on your keyboard and click right over here to create a simple line. Now we can create a stroke. By default I have this stroke in here, give it a value of 4 and make sure that it is actually white, something like that. Great, so now we are going to introduce our square. Simply pick the rectangle tool and draw a quick square right over there. And I'm going to go ahead in here and see what size I have. So I would like to have a size of around 200. That's perfect. And I would actually like the fill to be set to none. So just set it to none, like that. And let's rename this to square 1. Perfect. And this to ground. So now let's bring in square 1, and I'm going to position it at the ground in here. And I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit in here to see how this will work. So great, I have my square and I would like to make it walk. Now, if I had to rotate this, so let's rotate that. We can see that as it rotates, this square needs to go up or down, or else it will basically cut its bottom right over here. So this is actually the tricky part about box animations, and this is why it's very hard to get them right, since each time it goes on like 45 degrees in here, it just needs to go up. So for instance, at this position, it needs to be here, and if I had to rotate a little bit more, it had to go up further, and if I had to rotate back to flat, it needs to go down. So it's quite hard to get it right. But to make this a bit easier for you, I have come up with this quick solution that we can simply apply to the position property. So let's go to the position property, and I'm going to actually toggle the stopwatch in here. Hold Alt on your keyboard, toggle that, and I'm going to paste this expression in here. I am actually going to leave a link where you can simply download this expression and copy and paste it right over here, so don't worry about that. And also, if you would like to see how this expression actually works, I'm also going to leave a whole explanation of this in my website, so go in my description to check that out. So let's continue. So now I have created that expression and pasted it in the position property, and immediately, if I go in the rotation now, we can see that box walking. So what this expression is actually doing, it is actually calculating the size of this box and repositioning it depending on the rotation value. And it is actually making it go upwards when it is on its edge, and when it is on its bottom, it will basically go downwards, so that it is fully rigged and able to walk just with the rotation value. Now, one thing to note is that if I go to a minus value, the box will go down. So it is quite important to set this to around, for instance, at maybe 3, and then just reposition it right over here manually. And now I can go backwards and forward without any problem. So perfect. So now let's create that animation like we had in the intro, where we switch from a small cube to a big box very simply. So let's position this right over here. Great. And now let's start animating. So I'm going to start from a value of 0, and I'm going to animate the rotation. Now, the great thing is, like this, we only need to animate the rotation. You don't need to mess with position, etc. And we still have full control of position. So if we would like, we can reposition that wherever we like as well. So let's go back to our position, and we're going to move forward to around here, and then rotate it to move to this position. Perfect. And let's place it around there. And you can see like this how simple it is to animate it. So now we can go back like this. Perfect. Now what I would like to actually do is actually switch from this box to a larger box. So let's see this animation very quickly in here. It looks quite nice already, but I would like to give it more character. So I would like to at this point in here, I would like to make it like stop and kind of lose this balance and then go back. So to do that, I'm going to pick these keyframes in here and press F9 on my keyboard. And now I'm going to pick this keyframe, go to the graph editor, and in here I'm going to make this very, very steep so that it almost stops in here like this. And we can even make it like steeper if we would like. And let's see how that looks. Wonderful. And at this point in here, I would like to, while it is going up basically, I would like to switch to a bigger box. So to do that, I'm simply going to duplicate square one, so Command D on my keyboard, and this would be the second box basically, and I would like to start it from this position right over here. Open this up, open the square, go to rectangle and rectangle path, and I would like this to be double in size, so let's make it 400, and once we make that 400, the square vanishes. That is because the position is based on its size and rotation value. So simply pick it back and reposition it right on top of this box right over here. Perfect. So this is about correct in here. Now what I need to do, I need to bring in another box in here. Let's bring in a new rectangle in here. Let's just drag in here. And I would like that to be a size of 200, like the one that I previously had. And I would like this to be actually fully filled with a whole white color. And I'm going to rename this to Square Filler. Perfect. So now I'm going to check the rotation value of this. So it is 65.8. So let's hit on R in here and type in 65.8. And then simply pick V on your keyboard and reposition this so that it is right over here. And now I want to pick this square filler and simply parent it to square 2. Now once you have done these steps, we are going to pick all of the squares and we are going to Shift Ctrl D, and this will split all our layers. So now let's go to the square filler, to the first part, and I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove the first square 2 in here. I'm going to also remove square 3. And this now has actually been renamed for us. So this would be actually square 2. And this would be actually square filler. So like that, now we have the first part that is done out of the square 1, and then the second part that is done out of square 2, and the square filler that is basically replacing square 1. So let's give these a different color just so we can see them quicker in our timeline, and let's see how that looks. Perfect. And now we can go over square 2 and continue playing with the rotation right over here. So if we would like to move it right over here, we can as well, and like that, since the square filler is parented to square 2, it will move with it. So let's see how that looks. And basically that is how the whole animation was done. So if you wanted to go out of the screen, we would simply animate this a little bit further in here and it will go out of the screen. And then you can repeat the process to bring the box in. This looks quite great already, but we are going to see some more techniques that we can use to improve our animation. But before that, like always, I would like to just humbly ask you to like, comment, and maybe subscribe. This will help me to reach more people, and even you will be notified of new videos that I am planning to do in the future. So just hit the like button, comment below, and I would be very thankful. So let's continue. Now we are going to create a nice, like scribbly effect on the edges, just so it looks like chalk. So we are going to introduce a new adjustment layer in here, place it right over here, and we are going to bring in a turbulent displace. As you can see, this makes everything wavy. I'm going to go over the amount now and hold on Alt, click on that stopwatch, and in the expression here we are going to simply type wiggle, and that's wiggle, and 20, 30. So inside the brackets 20, 30. And now I can go also to the offset turbulence in here, hold Option and click on offset turbulence, and we're going to type in wiggle once again, and inside there we're going to type in 20, 300. So like this like effect would be animated like that. Perfect. It's still too large, so we can make that like just a size of 2 would work perfectly. And we can increase a little bit the complexity to around 2 as well. So like that, the animation looks like a chalkboard paint effect. So now let's move on to the next thing. So I am in a new composition in here, and I have simply this square with no animation right now on it. And I would like to show you this preset that I have made, and you can get this from the description. So you can simply find that in user presets once you install it, and just double click on that, and with the square selected, and it will basically apply this expression here and give you some more functionality. A great feature that this preset has is that apart from rotating your box automatically, it can also modify the box vertical movement. So if I go over here over control box animation and I increase the box vertical movement, I can see that now it has more vertical movement. So if I animate this, you can see that it goes down every time the box rotates. And like this, we can create things like a bouncy box walk animation. So let's create one very quickly. So let's start from 1 in here, click on the stopwatch to rotate the box, and then move to around the 2-second mark, and we're going to move all the way up to here. And now I'm going to hit the F9 button to ease these. Perfect. And let's see how that looks. So it looks quite good already. But one thing that I would like is to actually start it without like bouncing. So to do that, I can simply toggle the stopwatch of the box vertical movement from here and start it from 0. And now there's no vertical movement. Perfect. Now let's end it as well with no vertical movement. Let's add another keyframe with a 0 value. And now at around this point, somewhere around here, I'm going to increase this to around 75. So now, once the box catches its speed, it starts like bouncing, as you can see. Great. So let's now click on these keyframes and F9 on our keyboard to ease that animation. So like this, you can see how we can create different animations using this box walk animation. So of course, you can use the box walk expression for free to do this box walk. But if you would like a little bit more control and make it a little quicker, you can also get this preset from the description below. Now finally, I would like to show you this tool for After Effects, with which we can create this nice animation. Now normally character animation is super complex to do, but with this tool we can achieve this quite quickly. So let's jump right into a new composition and see how we can create this. So let's create a new composition, and it's a simple Full HD composition. Click OK. And we can start introducing our shapes. So I'm going to introduce just 2 simple rectangles in here. So let's remove the fill, and I'm going to set their color to green. And these will be the legs, basically, the feet of the character. Let's rename that to right feet. It's always, when doing character animation, it's always good to have the right naming so that you understand what you are doing. So that's right foot. And then we can duplicate that, Command D on my keyboard, and this would be left foot. And immediately I'm going to pick that left foot and position it to the left like that. And I'm going to pick the right foot and position that to the right like that, somewhere around here. And now I'm going to introduce some more shapes. So let's go to the polygon tool, and I'm going to do a quick polygon with 5 points. And I'm going to change that to this nice yellow color. Perfect. And that would be the right hand. And we're going to place that right over here. And duplicate that. And this would be the left hand. Now we can move that left hand right over here. Now one thing that I would actually like to do in here is to actually make the right parts a little bit brighter so that we can distinguish them. So I'm going to go to the stroke in here and give them like a brighter color in here. And of course, you can even use your own images in here if you want, not just like shapes, but I'm going to illustrate this using simple shapes. So let's duplicate this one more time, and I'm going to place that in the middle, and I'm going to give this a white color, just like that. Perfect. And this will be named torso, or else you can even rename it to hips or something like that. And in this case, I'm going to use the properties in here to give it more points. So something like 10 points. Perfect. And that would be the torso. And finally, I'm going to duplicate that torso, position that right on top in here and reposition it right over here. And now from the points, you can also enter from here, go to contents, and from Polystar path in here, you can find points. We can going to give it 3, just like that. And we are going to increase its outer radius just a little bit, like that. And also go over rotation and rotate it so that it's like that. So 60 degrees is perfect. And finally, we can go to stroke in here and give that a final color, which is going to be this bright pink. Perfect. And I'm going to rename that to head. Great. So now I have our character made, our very simple character. And one thing that I need to do is to actually parent the right hand, the left hand, and the head to the torso, since usually these would move with the torso. So I'm going to parent them to the torso like that. So now I'm going to jump into MegaMotion. So this is actually a tool that I have made that has around 2000 motion presets that you can simply apply on any layer. And the cool thing about this is that apart from the usual presets, it also has some very special presets. And one of those presets is actually character animation. And since we have done box animations as well, it also has things like box walk animations and box drops and things like that. So let's jump to the actual character animation and see how we can use this tool to make this character walk. So we can go to middle animations right over here. And if we scroll down, we will find group animations. And right over here, we have our character animation. So in here, we have things like a walk, like a run, like a jumpy walk, high jump. So we have all of these animations that we can choose from. And in this case, I'm going to use the run. So now to apply these animations, it is super simple. You are simply going to pick, for instance, the right foot. Make sure that you have the basic shape of the character already done in here, so everything is in position right over here. And then we can simply find the right foot from here, so loop run right foot, and simply click on apply. Perfect. Now go to the left foot, go back to MegaMotion from here, and apply the run left foot. Now we're going to go back to MegaMotion, go to right hand, and we're going to apply the right hand, and continue doing this over the other layer. So we have the torso, we're going to apply the torso right over here. And we have the left hand, we're going to apply the left hand right over here. And the head, finally, we're going to apply that head right over here. Perfect. So let's preview this. Now we have applied all those animation presets, and let's see how that looks. And immediately we can see our character running right over there. Now, the great thing about these presets is that you can actually move the layers even after you have applied the animation. So we can pick, for instance, these two hands if we see that they are too far up, and we can move them down a little bit like that. And like that, the animation looks much better. Great. So now let's see how we can make those shapes come in and go out, basically. So we can pick all of these, and we can go back to our MegaMotion motion presets in here. We can go to the folder where we have the in and out animations. We can go to something like scale from here, and we can give it something like a scale overshoot, just like this. And you can apply this to the in, to the out, or to both. So let's apply this to the in. And if we zoom in a little bit in here, now you can see that it has created this in marker for us. And basically the in animation will happen from the start to that in marker right over there. So let's see how that looks. Brilliant. So like that, we can see our character coming up from nothing from here. And one more thing that we can do is we can actually end the animation. And now I would like to end it by going like all the way back. So to do that, I can simply go back to MegaMotion from here, and then find the in and out animation and go to position. So we wanted to animate from to the right. So I went to the right folder in here, and we can find something like position ease, or something like position, let's see, position slow down. So it will start slow and it will end fast from here. Let's apply that to the out. And now if we unzoom in here, we can see that out animation right at the end of our layer in here. So if we would like that to happen at around 4 seconds, for instance, we can simply go to the MegaMotion here and MegaMotion actually comes with its own easy to use toolbar in here, and we can simply align out points to this button from here. And like that, now the out animation happens right over here, just by clicking this button. So let's see how that looks. And now it's running, and then it simply gets sucked in to the left, like that. Now, one thing that we can do, we can actually go over these layers in here, and if we go to this little button here, we can shift the out points so that basically the animation happens at different intervals, like that. We can shift it at this direction, or else we can shift it to the other direction, and like that. As you can see, the legs would be sucked first to the left. So let's see how this looks. And now we can add another animation to the in that basically brings in the character from the left. So let's go to the left in here and go to slow down once again, position slow down, and add a preset to the in. And another great thing about these presets is that, as you can see, you can apply multiple presets to the same layer. So like this, we have added the character animation, we have added the out preset, we have added the in scale preset, and now I have added this in position preset. Perfect, so now our animation is almost done. So if I now go to around this point in here, hit N on my keyboard, I can see this looping with the character coming in and going out. Now I am quite happy with this, but one last thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pick the head from here. And I'm going to, so let's pick the head. And right now, since the head is parented to the torso and it is being rotated also, I would like it to actually rotate from this point instead of the middle. So I need to move the anchor point. To do it very quickly, I can use the MegaMotion toolbar in here and simply toggle that button. And now, as you can see, it is being animated from down there. So like that, we can move the anchor point very easily using the toolbar to any place, basically, just like that. So let's move it to the middle in there, and like that, it looks much better. So that's basically it, guys. Like that, you can see how we have created this cool character animation in just a few minutes using the MegaMotion. Now, of course, with this plugin, you can do many more things. So I'm actually going to leave a link for you in the description where you can check all the features of this tool and all the animations that it has. And also you can, of course, buy it from right over there if you like it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.